I've been hearing talks about Cristian Sereno and Uribeiro. Taking nothing away from them, they're great players. But I think we have enough.
This guy. You don't
we have enough.
Okay.
For Bafana Bafana.
You don't feel like
Great run. He pulls it back. Rasmus Højlund. Thunderous. It's an absolute net buster.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Diski preview show brought to you by Betfred, powered by Betfred. And of course, if you don't know who Betfred is, you have not been on the interwebs or been to one of our retail stores, when I welcome you to the family and let you know that if you want to join the Betfred family today, you can get up to 500 free spins or at least up to 5,000 Rand deposit match. And that's not all. We have some fantastic promotions and specials going on. If you've not seen them, visit betfred.co.za, and once you get there, you'll be able to see all the promotions we have, all the games we have, all the sports we have, all the Vegas tables, lucky numbers, horse racing. You like it, we love it, we have it. So make sure to visit betfred.co.za today to go check out all that we've got to offer. Today on the Diski preview show, we're back again with the legendary Mbonisi himself, aka Utisha with Diski. How are you, Chief?
I'm well, man. It's been a while.
People were asking me, what's the kombi?
No, I need to remember with the new introduction of our new members, Abu Len, Abu Mr. E, they've been keeping things down.
Yeah.
So I'm back today.
Yeah.
I mean, AFCON qualifiers. In fact, we have to thank Hugo Pros. He has made football, South African football, interesting again. I mean, it's exciting. Whenever Bafana plays, there's that buzz now. You know? Remember, for a couple of years, man, that buzz wasn't there. People were not filling the stadiums. But man, I mean, tomorrow Bafana is playing. Everyone is going to be watching that game. In fact.
All right. So if you heard from Mutisha there, he's dropping the hint of what game we're talking about. Yes, South Africa is in action once again, and we'll be talking about their next match. Don't forget, the match after this, they play South Sudan. This match, who are they playing?
They're playing Uganda, in fact.
They're playing Uganda.
The group leaders.
Yeah. Right. So let's not waste a minute of your time. Let's get straight into the show. Let's see what it's all about when we unpack it, break it down, and then we have a little chat about it. We'll be right back. Right, don't forget, if you enjoy what we're doing here at Betfred South Africa, make sure to drop a like, drop a comment, share, subscribe, join the family, do whatever you gotta do to stay in tune with us. For today, we're having this conversation around Bafana Bafana. It's been a while since we discussed Bafana Bafana and any matches that we're playing in. It's also been a while since we had a international break. So let's start by, the first thing, obviously, that's always been discussed whenever Bafana Bafana in action is obviously the team selection and the players that are going to be playing in this round of fixtures. Your thoughts on the teams the players that have been selected?
What I like about Hugo Pros is consistency. With Bafana Bafana, you already have an idea who's going to be playing.
It's like the Springboks now.
It's like Springboks. You already have an idea who's going to be playing. And what's nice, he has that inclusion. He will always bring you that one or two new players. But at the same time, you won't put them in the deep end. So they won't be playing. They'll be getting the experience sitting on the bench. But the time will come. The time will come. And we know for sure, with the starting 11, would be the best 11 that we have in the country. There's always this debate with whoever's supposed to be there, whoever's not supposed to pick. But the boys do deliver.
I want to come down to your level.
The boys do deliver.
Yeah.
Omission Uzwane. What's Bafana without Uzwane? Uzwane won't be playing. But the honest truth is, yes, Uzwane has been that key player for Bafana. But Bafana Bafana will still perform without Uzwane.
Tell his men.
Will always perform without Uzwane. They have more than enough capable players to replace Uzwane. Taking nothing away from him.
Let's bring it back. Let's rewind here, because obviously Uzwane is not the team. We have a spine at Pume Sundowns, obviously. When you start speaking of Uzwane, you have to talk about Ronan Williams, Umtau, you have to talk about Abokekana, you have to also talk about Mukwena in the middle, and then Uzwane up front. Obviously, that without Uzwane there, that core is now disrupted, because these guys as a spine set team have an understanding with each other. How does that affect the team's performance without that last link in attack? This is the spine, Manje shot at that head. What happens there?
The same way we talk when we talk about Sundowns. When those key players are not there with Sundowns, Sundowns still performs on it.
Yeah.
Even worse, this is a national team now. So that same national team will also perform without that talisman.
Yes.
Yes, we'll have our doubts. But they've proven, they've gone to show they can perform without that talisman. For a while, Umutau wasn't playing, Sundowns was still performing.
Yeah.
But Hugo Bros still playing Umutau to Bafana Bafana. He
Yes.
performed.
Yes.
Bafana Bafana.
Yes.
Uzwane has missed a couple of games for Bafana Bafana. Bafana Bafana has went on to get results. So it goes to show Uguti Hugo Bros, just like Sundowns, because whenever we speak about Sundowns, we have to speak about Bafana Bafana, and vice versa. Bafana Bafana consists of most players from Mamelodi, Sundowns.
Yeah.
Without that player, there's always another player that's willing to put up his hand to say, I'll replace whoever's not there.
So then, let me take the question. Let me continue with that same question and say, is Reiners going to fill those shoes? Because if you look at what's happening right now at Sundowns, their front three is now Reiners, they've got Riviero in the middle, and they've got Ushalulilo on the right-hand side. So now with Bafana Bafana, without Uzwane, do you think that Reiners is now expected to do a lot more in terms of his contribution to the front three? Yeah, Bafana Bafana.
Not really. Bafana Bafana still has creative players like Zwane. Uzwane who has put the bar so high that it's even hard to compare any player to Zwane. But manje, there are players who are capable. I can name you a few. To be honest, there's always been this debate about Patrick Maswanganyi, can he replace Zwane or not? Let's be fair. Patrick Maswanganyi hasn't got that chance or that opportunity to display what he's capable of. He's been sitting on the bench. I think it's about high time now the coach gives him that starting lineup to say, go and play now. Let's see what you can do. But also, if you don't put Patrick Maswanganyi, there's players also on the bench that can do what Uzwane does. You have, I mean, Mufokeng.
You know,
he's still young.
In my mind, I'm thinking he's going to go to Mufokeng next.
Mufokeng, he's still young, of it.
Yeah.
That young blood. We say, it's unfortunate, as South Africans, we say he's a youngster at 20. Whereas Peshe and Faith, they play with 16, 17. So Tina, a 20-year-old still a youngster. Mufokeng is a youngster. But he's no more a youngster. I think he has that
because
experience.
You can be a youngster till 34.
No, give them a chance. I say give these young boys a chance. You know, when we go to squad selection, we go for E4, man.
Yeah.
You have these young boys who are performing so well at the club levels. You have this player from Pirates, Umahau Unkota. Yes, he got like 3 or 4 games. But in that 3 or 4 games for Pirates, did you see what he's capable of? Did you see his goals, his touches, his movement? Give those young boys a chance go national squad so they grow with the team. Earlier on, I spoke of inconsistent with Hugo Bros.
Yes.
He's kept his 23 men squad. I think out of that 23, 20 are his loyal players. He just adds your 3. Your titles has just come in now corner because someone got injured. But he's kept those 20. Now these youngsters, they've been there. Play them now. So
that brings me to my next question about the balance of the squad. I mean, we went to the AFCON and people are saying this is Sundowns B or this is Sundowns A team that's going to play Bafana Bafanas. If you just check the players, 9 out of 10, 11 players are all from Sundowns. How do you feel Pirates' performance this far this season has affected his selection of Hugo Bros? Has he now opted to now include a lot more Pirates talent into the squad? Has he also considered maybe Kaizer Chiefs has also been performing well by their standards? Has he also looked into Kaizer Chiefs? Do you think there's a fair balance now? It's not only a team Sundowns player that's representing Bafana.
You know, the bigger picture that we should look at here is when we speak about Bafana Bafana, we're speaking of a nation, not a certain part of the country. It's the whole nation, not a club. Hugo Bros has always said a team must perform for players to be selected. The Chiefs did dismally last season, hence no player for Chiefs was selected. Right now, with Chiefs, if you look at Chiefs, the first 2 games, they were doing wonders. I mean, they played well. They won the first 2 games. No, let's forget about these last 2 games. Hence, that's why you have a call-up of Abu Dotli. Because the Chiefs was doing well. Pirates, on the other hand, sitting top of the log. So what does that mean? It means for them to be top, Pirates players were doing well. That's why you got Pirates players also dominating Bafana Bafana. You got like 7 players from Orlando Pirates, almost the same number as Sundowns. Deservingly, I mean, they top of the log. So they deserve. You have to players from Stellenbosch. So it goes to show standards of football has improved. And Hugo Bros is fair enough to choose those players that are performing. You have the exclusion of players like Abo Pesitao. We know Pesitao to have great contribution for Bafana Bafana. But because now there are players who are performing in the PSL, Pesitao is left out. Do we care about it? Do we mourn about it? Not really, because we have players who are performing who have been selected for Bafana Bafana.
Also, when you talk about Pesitao, I'm digressing now. When you talk about Pesitao, it's like talking about CR7. Portugal is playing Poland. CR7 is in the squad, guaranteed. Is that the same situation with Pesi? Because Pesi has done so much for us, guys.
It's the same situation, but different response. With Portugal, the coach feels pressured, which he has to play CR7 because CR7 himself is a nation. He's Portugal himself. Yeah,
if you're bencher,
so Hugo Pros was bold enough to say, Super Sita is a favorite. But no, man, there are players who are doing well. And those players that Hugo Pros selects, we always have this debate who they don't belong to be there.
Yeah.
And we object, but they go and perform. Kumanje, he called again Umahopa. First time ever he called Umahopa, we're having doubts. Why is he calling Umahopa?
Yeah.
He called Mahopa performed wonders. AFCON.
When
Reyners was called up, he wasn't performing at Sundowns.
What you're telling me is he called Mahopa and you saw the evidence of why he called.
We saw the evidence what he called. He called Reyners. Reyners wasn't playing Kumamelodi Sundowns. He was still having personal problems on the side. He wasn't playing. He called him. What did Reyners do? He came, scored goals for Bafana Bafana. So he's proof of that. So he's gone with the thing of he won't be peer pressured by people into selecting squad. He's going to select the squad that's based on his observation, and it has worked marvelously.
So let's look at this group stage now for a second. Are you impressed with where Bafana sits at the moment? Because I mean, we looked at this group, we thought to ourselves, South Sudan, Uganda, you know what I mean? We're in it, top of the group. Guamelasi win, but we started off with a draw. And now we have 2 draws because even our last game was a draw. I forgot about against what team, but we have 2 draws now, 3 wins. What's your opinion when you look at this group?
It's actually a great result. We mustn't be too ambitious. First, let's look where we're coming from. Before Hugo Pros, Bafana Bafana hardly qualified for any tournament. When last did we say Bafana Bafana convincingly qualified for a tournament? Hugo Pros comes in and we qualify. So it's a pity good now as fans. We want Bafana Bafana to win each and every game.
To top the group.
But it won't happen. It won't happen. They win each and every game. But they're doing enough.
So what's the future for Bafana Bafana looking like? I know I'm asking this question out of context because the World Cup is coming up soon. Obviously, there'll be the next AFCON. What is the plan there? Do you see the squad going the distance in terms of qualifying for the World Cup, qualifying for this tournament as well? Do you see that? Do you think that Bafana Bafana fans can now rejoice and celebrate and say Abuya man, we're on the way back from where we were in 1995?
Yeah, definitely. But again, I say let's not be too ambitious
and too ahead of ourselves.
Baby steps. For Bafana Bafana, remember I said Bafana Bafana hardly qualified convincingly for any tournament. Look, right now we're sitting second in the log. We've basically qualified. We just need a win against Uganda, and then we've made it to AFCON. Then we're gonna go play AFCON. Before then, we didn't have that kind of thing. It was always Bafana Bafana missed out. Bafana Bafana missed out. But now we're able to qualify. That alone is achievement on its own. Bafana Bafana finishing 3rd in the last edition of the AFCON. That alone is an improvement. But now, let's not be too ambitious and saying now Bafana Bafana is going to win the World Cup. Baby steps, because those over ambitions, those kill us. Those are the things that kill us. In fact, our local supporters, our Chiefs not so long ago were saying we want Manchester City now. Look where they are now. Those two, being too
but
ambitious,
also in their
they don't cost you.
In their defense, look where Manchester City is also now.
Okay, when that happens now.
Maybe it might be a fair match now.
So no, Bafana Bafana it's in great course, in fact, great route, prospects as to why Bafana Bafana can do wonders. They can do well. That third place we got from the previous AFCON. Now let's aim for at least, in fact, silverware. Let's go for second now. Yes, we might win it. We might be able to win it, but let's go for second. Yeah, but let's build baby steps. Because now, if we crash now, back to square one. Yeah, well, let's give credit where credit is due. Bafana Bafana is on a great cause. It's doing very well. Also with this new inclusion of these players, in fact, marvelous. Look, Ukren Kakane missed out. He's not in the top 23. Do we cry about it and say no? Ukren Kakane should be there. Not really. You have people who are capable of replacing him. Utomi Vala is back. Hugo Pros has studied. He knows Uganda. Before we can say, if you look at our stats, Uganda has never beaten Bafana Bafana. That's history. Ne? But if you look at your current forms, you look at how Bafana Bafana has been playing for the last year or two, You notice it's not an easy game when we play Uganda. That first round draw that we played, it was actually a good result for Bafana Bafana. It was not. There's no shock about it. It was a great result. Which we drew 2-2 against Uganda. We were able to score 2 goals. Scoring 2 goals alone is an achievement for Bafana Bafana. Now we're facing them again. Do we say straight win for Bafana Bafana? Yes, if you look on paper, Bafana Bafana stands a better chance at winning. I mean, Uganda has qualified already. They through to the next round. So for Uganda, it's just formality. With let's play this game, but we through to the AFCON. For Bafana Bafana, on the other hand, it's the 1 foot into the AFCON, but they must still go all out. So it's all for Bafana Bafana to win.
100%. Eish, Utish, we're back here again, eh?
But it's beautiful in faith. I mean,
it is beautiful. I won't lie.
It is. Football in faith, it's on another level.
People don't understand where we come from. Faith. We weren't confident of qualifying for anything. Sometimes you look at a game like this, Rwanda charges us 2-0. Hey, man, on AstroTurf.
We draw 0-0 against Lesotho.
You know what I mean? We draw 0-0 against Lesotho. Now maybe I come, Shalulile charges us. But now this is a great time. This is a time for us to have faith and believe in that Bafana Bafana can do it. So let me get your prediction before we wrap this thing up and we move on. What is your prediction for this game?
Look, I think Bafana Bafana coming to this game, yes, they're playing away, but they're favorites. I mean, Uganda have qualified. They have nothing to play for. Bafana Bafana must go all out. And with these players, young stars that Bafana Bafana has, I mean, it's about time. They actually prove themselves now. I think Hugo Bros must be brave. Give these young stars a chance. You got a player like Pasadine from Stellenbosch.
Yeah.
He hasn't got much game time, but he's been there with Bafana Bafana. Excellent defender. I think it's about time now coach gives him the go ahead. Talent Mbata. It's about time now that he gets, yes, he's superb coming off from bench, him and Mihle Mbombela. Give them the full 90 minutes. Let's see what they're capable of.
Yeah.
You know, this is the perfect time to give these young boys a chance. It's a pity to also, again, I mean, we can never run away from the fact with some guys, they're given a chance to go and prove themselves and then things don't go accordingly. I mean, you look at Uveli Moto, for example. He was sitting on the bench for a long time. He got an opportunity. He messed it up. Now his name is no more being called up.
Also, that let's leave that one out.
Yeah, well,
it's a sensitive topic.
I'm saying these young boys. These young boys, I'm seeing Abu. In fact, it's exciting to watch Abu Mfukeng play. You know, and there's also young boys who are not called up for Bafana Bafana, but in future they're gonna come up. Bafana Bafana, I just pray with Safa they do right. They groom these young boys.
Yeah.
You remember that under 20 that we had, the under 20 of Abu Serero, Abu Maluleke, Abu Klassen. That did so well in the under 20 World Cup. What happened to those boys? They just vanished into thin air. I think it's about high time now. Isafa grooms these boys that we have. You have the likes of Abu Campbell, Oshante Campbell. You have the likes of Mihle Mbombela, the young star from Cape Town City. You have Abu Mfukeng. You have this young guy from Paris, Batuban Muhau and Kota. You have
the boys from Chiefs as well.
Guy from Sundowns.
Yeah.
Scoring goals for fun now. The 18-year-old from Sundowns. Can Safa look after these boys, please? If Safa can look after these boys, the future for Bafana Bafana is bright.
Now, before we get back to your prediction, do you think that we need a Gaston Serino in our squad?
I've been hearing talks about Gaston Serino and Ribeiro. Taking nothing away from them, they're great players. But I think we have enough for Bafana Bafana.
This guy.
We have enough for Bafana Bafana.
You don't feel like Gaston has been here for a very long time?
No, I think we have enough for Bafana Bafana. Instead of looking at the likes of Gaston Sereno, why don't you groom this young talent that I was telling you about? If you give Mfukeng enough time, let's say you're 3 years, don't you think he'll be as sharp as Sereno? I always tell you, Mo, you and I, we're always having these conversations. I say, South Africans are not appreciated enough. Appreciate the South Africans. Stop looking outside.
Eish.
And you
sound like a broadcaster who was talking about Neymar the other day on his podcast, and was saying, if you look at Neymar, if Neymar was South African, he was going to be blacklisted long time ago. So it's like, but if you look at it, because he's not South African, he still be held to a very high regard. But if he was a South African, but they're still keeping him up there.
Proof of that, Sereno is still being hyped, Sereno. But recently, what has it done? Why are we not hyping Usaling?
Saleng is hyped.
Oh, Saling is not hyped.
Saleng where she is.
Look at Saling. Just a few weeks ago, we were talking about Saling being considered for
Just because
Bafana Bafana. He's still not
doesn't
there.
mean he's not hyped.
He's not hyped. In face. You guys are so you love in face to these.
You guys.
Now
Uyangibala, this is guy.
Let's appreciate local in face.
Yeah, we appreciate local.
Okay.
Same way we appreciate the Chakalaka, the Archer, the Oros. We appreciate local.
Now, right more. But I'm facing a cricket game. I'm looking for a cricket game tomorrow. Bafana should do wonders.
So what's your prediction, Gabe? Before we get too political, then we get cancelled.
Look, it's a pity which Bafana is playing away from home. You know how difficult it is playing there out there in Africa. But Bafana, I think they're in good shape. I'm giving it to Bafana Bafana. Bafana Bafana win.
I'll take it as well. I'll give it to Bafana Bafana. But I'm going to be smart enough to, double chance. Double chance.
Bafana Bafana win draw.
Yeah, win draw.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, I love Hugo Bruce. And I think he inherited a team where he had to get a lot of things right. He had to iron out a lot of mistakes. He had to, like you say, bring stability to the national team. Because we're very volatile in terms of how we selected players. If you are Shisa this week, we get a squad team. You understand? Doesn't necessarily mean that she says squad team. It's just a matter of Saktata because this week you scored a goal. And the problem with that is that you end up not having a squad for the national team. I mean, if you follow rugby, the Sharks have not won anything in a while. But most of the Springboks play for the Sharks. The Bulls went to the final of the Challenge Cup. I forgot the Lions also challenged for something. You look at those squads, bro, and they contribute players to the Springboks, but Rasmus knows his players. That's his core of players. He knows these guys. You understand? And we're not saying that there's favoritism, but you need to understand that coaches don't play the same style of whatever sport they play, whether it's rugby or soccer. So if you're going to select your squad, you're selecting it based on, these boys understand how I play.
Correct.
And if you look at Spain that just recently won the Euros, that's exactly what happened. They coached those players when they were playing in the development ranks. When you go to the national team, you didn't say, no, Mfunavo, Jesus, Mfunavo. You went and he said, I want Yamal, I want Nico Williams. Those are my wingers. Those are the players I know. They'll get experience between them with Morata. In case they can't get the goals, Morata will fix it. The midfield, he had an experienced player with Rodri. But around them was players he knew. Players who know how to play his style of football. And that's the one thing about so many football teams that people are not understanding. That's why we started our conversation in Spain. Guti, what does the core of Bafana Bafana look like? It's Mamelodi Sundowns. If you look at the players around them, sorry for hitting your mic. If you look at the players around them, then you can compliment them and say, okay, here we have a Shalulile at Sundowns. We don't have a Shalulile at Bafana. So let's put Monapule here.
Correct.
You understand?
Correct.
Okay, fine. We don't have a Ribeiro as a number 9. But here we can have a Pesitao because he's experienced. He knows what he's doing. And sometimes the experienced voices in the dressing room are not just for the playing. They're also to help the boys come down. They've been there before. Yes, then when you're going a goal down, you need someone who say, Bafet, we've dealt with this before, relax and we'll score the goals. You understand?
Exactly.
Because the problem sometimes with youthful players is that they don't know how to bounce back from difficult situations. You look at Germany in 2010. Germany blew every team they faced away. But once they came against the Regis side, you know what I mean? Against I think the Netherlands knocked out Brazil. And yeah, it was Brazil they knocked out, and then Spain knocked out England, if I'm not mistaken, with that goal that didn't go through. I mean Germany, sorry. But if you look at the Germany side of 2010, those players were still young. Joachim Löw knew that all these boys are still young. Mesut Ozil, Khedira, Kroos, Thomas Muller was still a teenager. He knew that all of them are young. When he came back in 2014, what happened? He had Closer up front, the experience. He had them surrounded by these young boys. Manuel Neuer at the back, also still a young goalkeeper. But they were able to win it because once you mix the right blend of experience with the right blend of youth, you get a team that's powerful. And then we saw it again in the Euros. You just get a couple, your spine needs to be experienced. You just need the core guys to be guys who are experienced, who can, because in the defense, you don't want everyone to be a child. You need someone who can say, hey, no, Mbonisi in my lap. You stand there. You understand? You need someone in the midfield who say, hey, you're out of position. Do this. You understand? Then front line as well. You need someone who say, hey, Chief, this is not working for you. Do this. You're as a coach, you're not on the pitch. You need someone who can talk to these players on the pitch.
That's exactly the recipe for Hugo Bros. That's why Bafana Bafana is exactly where they are.
Yeah.
If you look at Bafana Bafana, when Ron Williams wasn't there, you still have your centre backs that have been there for a long time that can actually assist a goalkeeper in the way of how they play. You look at
they can also manage the fullbacks.
You look at when Mtobi Mvala wasn't there. You're gonna have a new guy. Udotli was playing in that position. But you have guys surrounding Abo Mutao, Abo Obri Mudiba, that have been there. They're going to help the guys settle in. You go to mid, we have Umshin Wait, Ustole. Ustole wasn't there because of injury. But you still have Mukwena, who's going to welcome Obas, who's going to teach Obas the culture of what needs to be done. You got Fran, same thing. Uzwane, when Zwane is not there, you're still going to have players around. They're even there for quite some time. They're going to welcome the guy. What happens now? The whole team chills. The spine is still there.
But
I still feel like new players.
I still feel like you should have taken Upesi for that reason. And bring Pesi in. Let him be the guy who runs the front line. Because right now, yes, those guys have, I mean, that's why we don't have a lot of players in our country that have more than 50 caps for Bafana. Because before it was chop and change. If you're not scoring this week, you're not getting in. You understand?
No, I think for that reason, I think we're not playing. They're not playing the same number of games that they were playing before. After COVID, I think things changed. But then also now, sometimes in fact, remember we spoke about balance. Yes, there will be that criteria. But sometimes, in fact, you bend the rules. Sometimes you're going to miss that criteria just for you to get, that balance. Oh, bringing Opesitao, you're putting pressure, unnecessary pressure on him already. Because now, one, a lot is going to be expected for him. Age-wise, he's no more youngster. So going ahead, you bring Pesitao now. What are you bringing for? Are you bringing him for the upcoming World Cup or you bring him for what?
But this match is you're trying to qualify. Yes, then your goal is not to look too far. You're trying to qualify.
But now you qualify, and then when you've qualified, now you're bringing the youngsters.
You remember when Nomveto was playing for University of Pretoria? Itax. Remember when he was playing for Itax? I used to love watching Itax that time. You know why? Because he never ran. He never ran. All he did was, unetouch. Nomveto unetouch. That's one thing you must know. He knows good. There's no one else on mark. There's no one who's going to take the ball off of him. Magawami Paula, the ball is going to stay where it has to stay. All those players around him would make runs, and you'll find them with the passes. That's what I'm saying. You don't need this guy to do a lot of work. I don't need Percy to score the goals. I don't need him. But we need someone who will come in there and remind the people. I mean, you need to remind the players of what they're playing for. You understand? Correct. You are now playing for Bafana Bafana. It's like, how can I put this? If you get a team in Lekas, let's say you just moved to Lekas, you just arrive. Mongena kule team ekas mongena amajita baqala team ngawe asicala team mofika lapha who's the senior player, who's telling them what's worth playing for? And that's what I'm saying, which is fine for the entire squad. They can be senior players, you understand? But you need players who've been there. You need players who are there, for the past 3-4 years, who saw players come and go.
But
because
does have that.
You have to transfer legacy, you understand? And these are new forwards. Our Rainers are coming in, you understand? They need to understand what does it mean to wear that badge and wear the number 9 and wear the number 11 and wear the number 10. You understand? Someone needs to be in the dressing room and say, guys, yes, we're playing for our team here. But that's the thing about Bafana is if you look at pictures of Sia Kolisi, you see him playing alongside John Smith, or I'm not sure how to pronounce the man's name, but John, the former captain. Victor Medfield, you see pictures of him and Eben Etzebeth. You understand? You can see, that the handing over of these players to say, the guys who played this World Cup, the guys who played the next World Cup, you can see the transfer. These guys played together at some point. What were they transferring? Knowledge. You understand? They were transferring knowledge. When you get on the bus with these guys, you're sitting with your legend. Your legend's telling you, team, this is how you play. These are the sacrifices we make. This is what it means to be here. That's why with the Springboks, these boys last so long. That's why they get to 100 caps. Because if you look at Victor Medfield, the person who broke Victor Medfield's record for the most caps for the Springboks was Eben Etzebeth. You understand? So he handed over the legacy to Sentona.
But like I said, that's Hugo Boss' recipe. He's doing exactly that.
Right.
I mentioned from the back,
we're saying the same thing.
The defenders, the midfield, the strikers. That's what I'm saying. The roots are perfect.
Yeah.
Future's looking very bright. For that same, they're passing that legacy. I want you to see these youngsters, they're coming. Umasongani, before he plays, let's say 5 games in a row, he would have sat on the bench how many times? By the time he plays, he has all that experience. Yeah. When he knows exactly what's happening. If Umasongani is given a go ahead, and then let's say he fumbles tomorrow, you can't really say he's stage fright. He's been there for a long time. He knows what's happening. He knows what's expected from him. So he should do well. I think Hugo Bros has prepared him so well for that. For a long time, we've been crying he must get the starting lineup. Hugo Bros is smart enough to say, no, man, let's groom him. Let's wait for the right moment so that We introduce him when the time is proper. Look, Umthobi Mvala, he's been called up again. Debate about why you choose Umthobi Mvala over Ukrenkakana. That experience you're talking about. Mvala has been there for a long time. He knows exactly what's happening. Ukrenkakana being dropped for this game, it doesn't mean he won't any longer be considered for Bafana Bafana. He's still going to come back.
He will come
for
back.
Bafana Bafana when the time is right.
But now I just feel like Hugo is just rotating the squad because he has the option to do so.
We can say rotating, but for me, in fact, there's no rotating.
As if
It's still there.
we predicted this thing a long time ago. What's your prediction again?
Yeah, Bafana Bafana is winning this game.
I also predicted a double chance. Bafana win or draw. All right, guys, we'll see you again next time. We got carried away this time.
No, I mean, that's the joys of Bafana Bafana. It's not, I mean, you always have a lot to talk about when Bafana Bafana is playing.
Yeah.
Again, on Saturday after the game,
It was-
we're still going to have a lot to talk about because Bafana Bafana
It was
is gonna
almost
do
the round
magic.
table. Just now.
It's the football, South African football.
Yeah, I know, the South African
Beautiful, man.
football. You local Melibuye because there's so much for us to discuss.
Local is like it, please.
Yeah, my boy, like, hey, it's on.
And it's so nice. You know, you go even to PSL. A lot of teams can brag now. It's no more a one-man show.
We wouldn't calling him
Yeah.
boy.
Who have thought?
We would have thought.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Makesi playing final. Hey, who would have thought?
Against who, boy? I know. So, she's. That's a PSL. Pirates match these days.
Who would have thought? Sundowns is watching there.
Yeah.
We don't know if Pirates is warming the seat for Sundowns.
It's probably warming the
what's
seat.
happening. Yabo? We don't know if Makesi can do
It's
a medical end.
after this transfer win. I mean, after this international break. So now, well, it's still going to be a debate.
Oh, too much. The women have started. The Champions League women have started. It's Sundowns, representing there.
Hey.
They just thrashed a team. Not so long ago by 4-0. Beautiful.
This is where they put the credits on top of our faces.
Sivala.
Sharp, guys. We'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching.